Welcome to Maths with Jade. In this video tutorial, we will be factorizing harder quadratic expressions. If you are here, then you probably already know how to factorize simple quadratics. Basically, you can turn an expression like this into two brackets, its factorized form, this. Or an expression like this into this. And you should be able to do this for all quadratics that start with x squared and factorize. However, if you cannot do this, then please turn back around and come back after you've watched my Factorising Simple Quadratic Expressions video. Because this video will show you how to factorize quadratics when the coefficient of x squared is not 1, making them harder quadratics. I know what some of you might be thinking. A coefficient is a numerical value placed before the variable or variables. So in 11.5 xyz is the 11.5. In minus 5e cubed is the minus 5. In 3x squared, it's the 3. In 2 pi r, it's the 2 pi. And in x, it's the 1, although the 1 is invisible. So now we've cleared that one up, let's have a look at how to do this. Here is a generic quadratic expression. So our coefficient of x squared is a, our coefficient of x is b, and then our c is that constant, the number on its own. And here is the quadratic expression I want to factorize. You should instantly recognize this to be a harder type of quadratic because the coefficient of x squared is 2 and not 1. And now we do something very similar to what we did with simple quadratics. We find two numbers that multiply to make AC this time, but add to make B. So the problem looks like this. Two numbers times together to make AC, in this case, 2 times 15, which gives us 30. And they need to plus together still to make that coefficient of x, which is 11. Pause the video now to find my two numbers. Our two numbers are 5 and 6. So because these are harder quadratic expressions, we can't just place those into two brackets like we did for simple ones. We have to do something a little bit different. We are going to replace b with these two numbers. So my 11x is going to become 5x plus 6x in any order. The method will still work. And now we split the expression in half and factorize each side. So on my left-hand side, my highest common factor of 2x squared plus 6x is 2x. And if I divide that, I get x plus 3 inside the bracket. And now I carry that plus down, and my highest common factor is 5. And I'm left with x plus 3. And by some miracle performed by you when doing this, you have found a common factor. Go you! And that common factor is my x plus 3 bracket. This will work every single time. If you follow the previous steps correctly, your brackets will always be the same. And then you can just factorize out that bracket. So there's my x plus 3, and I'm left with 2x plus 5. I put that into a second bracket, and I have factorized my quadratic. Just so you know this isn't any fluke and we actually have factorized this correctly, let's expand it out quickly. So we get 2x squared plus 5x plus 6x plus 15. We group together our x's and we have our starting expression 2x squared plus 11x plus 15, which guarantees we have factorized correctly. So this is a really nice example because all the terms are positive. It does get a little bit trickier when we start adding in those negative signs we all love so much. So here is another expression that I want to factorize. I want to follow the same steps again and find two numbers that multiply to make AC but add to make B. Our problem looks like this. Two numbers times together to make AC, in this case 6 times minus 2, which gives me minus 12. Our same two numbers need to plus to make the coefficient of x, which in this case is 1. Pause video now. The correct answer is 4 and minus 3. So our next step is to replace b with these two numbers. So my x is going to become 4x minus 3x. It looks like this. Those middle terms can actually be placed in any order. This method will still work. So now I'm going to split my expression in half and factorize each side. On my left-hand side, my highest common factor is 2x, and I'm left with 3x plus 2. Whatever the sign is in the middle of the expression, do carry that down. And then I look at my 3x and minus 2, and the only thing I can remove is 1. So I'm dividing by minus 1, and I'm left with 3x plus 2. I know it looks like we've made a mistake, but we haven't. We've essentially divided the second half of the expression by minus 1 when we took that out as a factor. So I'm left with positive 3x and positive 2. If you're ever unsure, multiply it out and see if you got what you started with. So of course our brackets are identical like I promised they always would be, so we can factorize out the bracket. And I'm left with 2x minus 1, so that can go in my second bracket. And I factorize that quadratic. I think it's time for you to have a go. Factorize the following quadratic expressions. There's 5 to keep you busy. Pause the video now. Here are your solutions. Please check your answers carefully and remember the brackets can be in any order. Thanks for watching. This has been Maths with Jade and Factorising Harder Quadratic Expressions. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel to keep updated with the latest tutorials. Share this video. Feel free to comment below.